Your teens are very confusing. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you want, what to chase, and who to trust. Looking back, I've realized a few mistakes I made that have changed my life. And if I knew them before, I'd be way ahead. So, if you're 15, if you're a teenager, or you're even 20, this video is for you. Trust me, I know better than anyone else. While combating the struggles of being a teenager, I was also moving in between different continents. Welcome back to Evolving with Zach. Welcome back to another video. I am currently 20 now, and in this video I'm going to be addressing some mistakes I've made in my life that I probably shouldn't have. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, or leave a thumbs up, and tell me the biggest mistake you've made in your life thus far in the comment section. Let's get it. Now that I've learned from those mistakes, I'm more focused, more confident, and more intentional about my life than I have ever been. And if you would like for that to be you, make sure you watch to the end of this video. The last mistake is the biggest one. The first mistake I made was not being confident. Not only was I not confident, but I didn't work on confidence. And I also didn't learn about confidence. Now, the first thing you need to know about confidence is that confidence is not a personality trait, it's a skill. The same way, for example, if you're playing soccer, you train week in, week out to get better, like Messi, Ronaldo, or LeBron if you like basketball. Confidence is also a skill that has to be trained. Some people, like I wasn't born with it, it can be worked on tremendously over time. I used to think people were just born confident, and to be honest, some people are. Confidence has an array of ways of manifesting itself. There's confidence in intelligence, something I've always been confident in myself for, thank God. There's confidence with girls, which is not something that I've always had, it's something I've had to work on. There's confidence in like sports, which is something I've also always had. But anyways, the time I realized the biggest change in my life with regards to confidence was when I started taking action, even though I was scared. Like I mentioned, this could be with girls, this could be going to the gym even when you don't feel like it. And for me, the biggest thing was me starting this YouTube channel, because with those type of things, there's no guarantees, but the success you get from it always outweighs any amount of work you had to put into it. And another telling thing I've realized is that the more you extend yourself, maybe you usually go to the gym 3 times. This week you go 4 times. Maybe you ask that girl out and she says yes. The more you show yourself that it's possible for you to do hard things, the more you're going to believe in yourself, because you're going to trust yourself to take on tasks that you couldn't do before. As early as August this year, I couldn't trust myself to start a YouTube channel, which is why I hadn't started it. But come right now, I'm recording my 11th video, and there's still a long way to go. But I know I'm getting better, and if you guys would just adopt this trait, I promise you this thing can change your life. So that's the first advice I'll give you. That's the first mistake I made, not being confident in myself. One more thing about confidence before I move to the next trait. You see how I was talking about all those hard tasks and you overcoming them? That creates competence, and competence is the fastest way to create confidence. You think LeBron is nervous when he gets on the basketball court? Of course he isn't. He's been doing that shit for 20 plus years. He knows he can go on there and get 20 plus easily. So the same way, when you get out of your comfort zone more often, and I didn't ask you to go bungee jumping or to go skydiving. Like I said, this could be a little task that you implement in your day. But the more you train yourself to be flexible and adaptable, the more confident you become. It will be inevitable. The second thing I want to talk about is belief. Self-belief. This kind of ties to the first point, but I'm going to relate this with regards to social media. The thing I hear the most about social media is that people are scared of doing it and failing. But if you don't try, I promise you now, the regret of not trying is 1,000 times worse than trying and failing. Trust me, I would know better than anyone else, right? And if you are in your teens and you're even in your early 20s watching this video, this is the time, or even in your late 20s even, this is the time for you to take risks. You don't have that much to lose. If you take a risk, you never know how much it's going to pay off, right? Because the fact of the matter is that the vision is yours. And not everyone is going to see it, but all you have to do is work hard. If you work hard, I guarantee you, you will not be let down. Your work will not let you down. Your work is eventually going to speak to you to the extent that other people wouldn't even have to ask you about your work. They will only need to see your results and they'll be like, ah, this is the guy. The last thing I will say about this is, the truth is that a lot of people won't believe in you until you give them a reason to. And the easiest way to change, to tweak that bit of self-doubt in your head is to believe in yourself first, because it all starts within you. You are the only one that can take the action to change your life. No one else can. The third mistake I made was not chasing my dreams early enough. Now, you might be thinking about that and wondering that, isn't this guy just 20 years old? Yes, I am. But something as simple as posting on social media, I've been sitting on this idea for the last year and a half. And I always knew I could do it. It wasn't even a matter of achieving success. It was just taking the risk, right? But I was always nervous of what my closest friends would think, what my family would have to say. But the truth of the matter is, I don't give a damn about that anymore. The only thing I care about is how I feel about myself. And I know that the more I continue to do this, the better I feel about myself. And that's all that matters. Because the reason I adopt this mentality is because if you don't start now, it's only going to get harder for you later. You don't get less responsibility as you get older, unless you're planning to be a bum, in which case, I don't know what to tell you, but that's not really the path to take. But if you're planning to be someone that's looked up to, someone that's respected, your responsibilities only get more as you get older. So the best time to try and chase your dreams is when you're younger. Obviously, there's no limit, but I'm just saying. And that was the number one thing I hated the most about talking to older people when I was younger. Whenever I would say I wanted to do something, they would be like, oh, you still have time. But the truth is that none of us have as much time as we think, because nobody knows when their last day is going to be. So anyways, to cut a long story short, chase your dreams today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And what matters the most, regardless of whichever dream you're chasing, is consistency. If you can just be consistent, you'll be surprised how much you can achieve. The last lesson I want you to learn from this video, this is the most important one. Actions speak louder than words. I remember when I was in secondary school, there was this guy in my grade. This guy, all the time, he would talk about how he's going to go home. Right? For context, it was very hard for people to go home. So let's say you come in September, till December, we wouldn't be allowed to go back home. So this one guy always used to talk about how he was going home. This guy never went home. Apart from holidays, obviously, but he used to say he would go home during school and he never did it. Till today, when I'm talking to people, they still make fun of him about that thing. What's the point of that story I just told you? Actions speak louder than words. There were people like me who never said anything about going home because I didn't expect to, but I ended up going home once during the semester, even though it was because I was sick. But I ended up going home more times than the guy who felt the need to tell everybody that he was going to go home and he never went home. This point applies to everything in your life. Friendships, relationships, gym. Actions speak louder than words. Instead of telling people, bro, I want to start going to the gym, go to the gym tomorrow. Instead of telling your girlfriend, oh, I wish we could do this, or I'm going to try and do this for you, why don't you just work towards the goal and then surprise her with it? I promise you that will get you further than you think. Instead of telling your friends, oh bro, I want to start a TikTok, or I want to start a YouTube channel, why not just start it and then tell your friends about it and ask them to support you? And then from that conversation, you will know if they're actually your friends or not. I also buttressed this point already in the video. People will not value your words, they will value your results. Life is results based. If you cannot provide evidence, you go explain tire, as people would say back in Nigeria. This is why if you would like to achieve anything in life, discipline is the most important tool you can have in your locker. So anyways, that is the last tip I'll give you. Actions speak louder than words. So make sure you take more action today, guys. So these are the biggest lessons that life has taught me so far. I'm still learning every day. I'm hoping this helps you evolve into a better version of yourself. It has definitely helped me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below what's the biggest mistake you've made in your life so far. I would like to hear from you guys. And also, if you're on your self-improvement journey, subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started, evolving with Zach. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.